everybody. Welcome to Market Moves. I'm Jason, the Wizard of Ops. With me, as always, is Dark Matter. Hey, Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Wiz. How's your 4th of July? Hopefully a shortened week. Last week got you an extra day of rest. How
Yeah,
was it?
I mean, it's never rest when you have kids and you go to parties and all that stuff. It's never rest, but it was more restful than normal, so that was nice.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. Well, at least I hope it was a good time with your kids and their friends and
Yeah,
so forth.
yeah, it was good. Lit off a couple little fireworks or whatever, and little sparklers, and the town has fireworks here. I don't know if I don't know. I guess that's nationwide, right? Every town throws up fireworks, and yeah, so that's yeah, that's basically my weekend. It was pretty low key. We don't like to travel when everybody else travels, so.
You're telling me you didn't go to Pennsylvania to get those fancy fireworks in the air, the
Ah,
illegal kind?
oh, that's something one of my neighbors did, and went to the parking lot nearby. Like there's like a parking lot, and started shooting them off and like trying to evade the cops and stuff. So I didn't realize you can get jail time for that, but
Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
realize it was
there's an
that
air
serious.
there's a well, there's an airport nearby. Like those two can't be good combinations.
All right, so Jay, take us away. I guess do a little recap of last week and what we got to look forward to this week.
Yeah. So last week we were, let me just jump in here if you don't mind really quickly.
Mhm.
Last week our big take was essentially getting to, let me just blow this up here, open full view. So our thinking was basically we stay north of 6100, and we found some support at like 6175 last week when futures open, and we held, and didn't say we didn't see those levels after Sunday's futures. We kind of, chopped a little bit for a few days there, between 6,200, a little bit to 6,225. And then right before the NFP on Friday, we closed Thursday right at 6,227, which is a key critical gamut pivot last week. And after that, the rest was history. We got to our, what you and I kind of called 6,255 there, but we went over that level, hit 62.84 to be exact, and then we sold off from that level. So on Friday in futures action, which was still open for the market, we did trade back to 62.25. I thought we'd find some balance there, and we actually did. And we're now trading just a little bit north of 62.50. So it's funny, it comes back to our target we originally have here, and that's now where we're consolidating. But yeah, that was our week. I thought it was pretty good analysis daily. We kind of kept everyone, hey, up until NFP there'd be a mean reversion style of trading, if you're on a zero DTE or whatever on a shorter time frame. But I thought we did pretty well. With like the Volland dealer position levels held well. We got our early support in the week, and then we just needed the catalyst to ride our way further and further up. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we needed the NFP catalyst was interesting because it doesn't, it just kind of confirmed the Vanna positioning. And we were saying, like, the really strong resistance is at 6,300. I didn't think it would, accelerate as high as it did, but, I think it got up to that level, kind of retraced a little bit. I think 6,300 will be very strong. So, but Vanna is also very strong. So it's kind of, it's going to be pretty tense, probably low realized vol, if you ask me.
Yeah,
But
100%.
last week, I mean, I was kind of like just, and still am a little bit like prepare for this kind of downside possibility. But Vanna is so huge that upside is the default.
Yeah,
And it still is, probably through July, ever since the ceasefire passing of 6,000. That was the big hint. So
I think ultimately if we do see a sell off, I think that 6,000 is going to be like a key level, Wiz, right? Like I see us retesting that, and potentially that becomes the support level. So I'm not here to say we're ready for 6,000 again. I think that train has left. If anything, we're in a period of consolidation here this week at a minimum, maybe. But I'm with you. Like, I think we're going to chop here. We're about to head into earnings, over the next few weeks. So we might get one more catalyst to push us up, and then let's see timber what occurs after that.
Yeah, I mean, I think 6,200 now is a big support now too. So,
Mhm.
so I think like it's going to be kind of tense, probably pushing up against 6,300, but that's about and we can drop as far as 6,200, but that's probably it until July OPEX. So for the next 2 weeks, that's kind of my read. But
Yeah, I'm with you, and I shared a whole section here for the group in the Discord of why the importance of 6250 as well. So I'm fully aligned with you here. Like this week, I mean, we did rock a little bit below 6250, like Friday and even last night in features,
Mhm.
but they came and bought that thing up, and so I'm 100% aligned with you going into this week. Like 6250 is going to give us an interim pivot, let's say, up or down below that essentially. But I would look into 6300 is going to be a tough one, Wiz. Like I think we're going to need a major catalyst to get us above 6300. Just kind of looking into 6300, and we'll go into Volland here. You have a massive gamma that sits there. There's like a pocket of Vanna that will take us up to 6330, no doubt. But like as you get up above 6300, dealers are not going to be as happy buying as they were last week. So
Right.
that would just be my call out is you'll see a lot of consolidation, I think, this week between 6250, 6300 region, right? And I think any overshoots above 6300, you start to run into that Vanna, wall, I'll call it, right? Some resistance that is right around 6325, 30. Thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So I mean, even intraday here, you look at your charm 6250, 6300, like these levels all week, I feel like are just going to kind of spring up and constantly show their hands, if you get what I mean. But if we look at all expiration, I mean, we have a catalyst to sell, it will sell. But if you look at 6200, it's like, good luck breaking through here.
Yeah, but if you do break through it, look at all that negative Vanna right below. I mean, so if we do break through 6,200, it's going to be fast.
It's no joke. Let's just
Yeah,
leave it at that.
yeah. But breaking through 6,300 will be slower. It'll just be very, a lot slower. So
Agreed. Well, now we have our levels. Let's just quickly talk about some event catalysts this week, because this week's going to be interesting. We've got a few things here and there, consumer credit change, but I think the big items on Wednesday, we've got, our 10-year note auction. Thursday, you got your 30-year bond auction as well. So I think those are our biggest catalysts. And then obviously the jobless claims on Thursday. Jobs will still be an important one, but this could be just a little bit of a choppy, mean reversion kind of week here. Again, your thoughts, Wiz?
yeah, that doesn't look anything on there I mean, the bond auctions could, I guess. I don't know if there's any kind of impact from the bill passing, the big, beautiful bill. It's such a
It's
funny
so
name
weird to
for
say that. I know. I can't. Like, is
it.
this real? Am I in a
The big,
simulation?
beautiful, tremendous, humongous bill. Incandescent bill. But it's projected to add a lot to inflation, as are these tariffs. I don't know. My real big thing that's not really on here is what is this tariff news going to be? I think on Sunday, this July 9th deadline has become less significant. I guess. I don't.
Well, well,
I'm still kind of unclear. I think the market is unclear too. Like, and I guess
yeah.
they're sending out letters, and then they're going to actually institute the tariffs in August. I don't know I don't know where they're sending these letters to. Like, dear Japan, you are getting tariffed. and then they just kind of like throw it. Like I don't know where they send it, but like it's not like Japan is paying anything. They're not. They're just the importers are paying stuff. So it's kind of, I don't know. I'm confused, and I think the market's a little confused too. Like, there's a disconnect between the thought of what this actually is and the execution of it. But that being said, that news I think is what's going to move the market, and it's unscheduled. Like, you can't put it on here because you don't know what what's
Yeah.
going to say, what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, yesterday you had the administration come out and say August 1,
Yeah.
right? And then it's like between now and July 9 or August 1, what am I looking forward to, right? Like what's the gotcha? I
Right.
think
Like,
it's hard it's hard to predict for this,
Yeah. I have no idea. Well, it's moves because I guess, it is kind of a self-imposed deadline, and but it moves constantly, and its effects are, they change every day too. Like,
Yeah.
some days the EU gets a immediate 50% tariff for some reason for dragging their feet, but the bureaucracy of gathering 21 member nations, 23, how many? Like, the bureaucracy involved in that is insane in itself. So
and now that he's threatening the BRICS, countries as
yeah,
well, right? So like the list, this last batch is not going to go quick by any means. So
yeah,
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's confusing, but yeah, but
It
that's
is.
the news that will actually move the market, I think, more than anything else. So
Yeah, I think that was my gotcha for the week, is just be aware of getting tariffed, right? We don't know
yeah,
what to expect, what can come out of it, what time it can occur. Just randomly happen in the middle of the evening, right? Like yesterday, a couple of the news announcements. What I do find funny though was you'll see like dealer positioning told us we would sell off on Wednesday at some point, right? As we hit some of
Mhm.
our highs, right? But I love how they sneak that dealer selling with like a bunch of news over the weekend, like, oh, Trump's tariff news caused the selling over the week, right? It's like,
Yeah, yeah,
nah, just dealers doing their thing. There's no
yeah,
Trump news here.
yeah. It's, a lot of things are attributed incorrectly, I think, in financial news. I don't,
Yeah.
yeah, it does bug me it bugs me to the point that I don't watch any of it. I think in the morning I read some of like the big Wall Street Journal articles, and that's about it.
Yeah, it's just I saw the CNBC notification on my
Yeah.
phone yesterday. I'm like, oh, that's not why. Come
Yeah, no,
on.
I cancel. I don't even get those notifications. I don't even.
I find
It's,
it amusing nowadays.
yeah. Well, the problem is that it does. I mean, I will admit personally, I'll read it and it does kind of say, "Is this actually a catalyst? Oh my gosh, what's going on?" And then I look and I'm like, "Not really," And then
Not really.
it kind of like fogs my mind so I don't pay attention to it. Just the big catalysts is all I really pay attention to.
Agreed. All right, really quickly on the VIX front, I think for me, 17.5 is where I'm looking for its pivot. We are above that right now. We did pivot above that. So we are expanding volatility here. But I mean, relatively speaking, in the Trump administration, this is calm per se, right? So I would just look at like if you start to push up to that 1850, like there's some sort of trouble brewing, so just keep that aware is how I'd look at that. Otherwise, Vanna, or the vol, I should say, on the VIX here, like volatility can keep going lower, even more so than it did on Friday and last week. 15.5, 15 and 3/4 there. I think that's what I'm looking at, Wiz, for a potential reversal of any volatility will occur around that time frame or level, excuse me.
Yeah.
All right. That was, in terms of the key levels, again, to me, like I think you lose 6250, you get to the 6230 here. There's even a volume profile shelf that sits right above 6200 there. We saw, some key Greek levels there at 6200 again. If there is a sell-off, it might push to 6175 as like a let's go, seek all the bulls that sat, between 6,200 and 6,175. But I think for the most part this week, it's mean reversion is what I would look at. Closer you are to 6,300, maybe you consider the short there to 6,250, right? And I think unless you see 6,250 clear, puts are scalp still. Buy dips kind of mode, buy time if you can. I think that's the other thing, or else you got to wait for these levels to mean revert. Otherwise, at least in the week, it's going to feel sideways and choppy this week potentially.
Yeah, 6210 I would give space to. I mean, I guess you're 6250 or trading futures, but I like to give space down to like 6210. That'd be my 6175 would be on the edge.
Something bad happened. July 9th occurred. Let's just leave it at that.
Whatever that means. Whatever July
that
9th
means
is nowadays. Whatever that means.
Exactly. So, I mean, trade ideas, again, you get up to 62.85, even 75, I would say, potential shorts here until you see the data clearly changing. Right now, the data is not telling us that is not a resistance. So just keep that in mind. And again, if we see 61.75, like I'm buying that dip all day long, kind of scenario here. Otherwise, just assume we're stuck here between 6,200 and 6,300 at a minimum this week. And you got to find a sweet spot if you're day trading or weekly trading. Where are you going to enter there? But I think it's got to be you got to fade the key levels here, top and bottom. So I would look at this week.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, we're in agreement this Monday, which is awesome.
Boring show.
Well, I think it just goes to show you there's not a lot of volatility this week, so it might be just wait for your levels. Patience is the key for this week.
Yeah. We also don't have any comments. I mean, we have like about a little bit less viewership than what we had before, but not many more comments here. So I guess we might be off early, man.
Oh, I can go prep for the market open then. Great.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. And may Volland help you in your future trading ventures.